We're back with our third segment. This is Studs and Duds. These are the guys that you should absolutely start and absolutely bench this week. So let's kick it off with our studs for the week. First one I'm going with is Evan Moore against the Miami defense. Week 1, it's pretty simple. Week 1, Miami gave up 3 touchdowns to tight ends, well over 100 yards. Last week they gave up a touchdown to Owen Daniels. Evan Moore has touchdowns in both games. Colt really loves throwing to him, especially in the red zone. Kid is 6'6" and has glue hands. Look for him to continue his streak and get touchdown number 3. He may tack on some yards this week too. Look for about 60 yards.
Santana Moss versus the Dallas Cowboys. First I was going to go with Fred Davis, but then I chose Moss just because Fred Davis has been hot as of late, and I think he's going to be the #1 waiver wire pickup this week if he didn't get it already last week, got scooped up. So I'm going to focus on Santana because last year he averaged over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys. The Cowboys secondary does not look good again. Rex Grossman looks really good, and he's been throwing all over the place, but he's been throwing to Santana especially. But Santana hasn't gotten any touchdowns. This is the week Santana's going to get his first touchdown, and he might get more than one.
Yep, 49ers scored last week against the Cowboys too, and their offense is like anemic. Guy that I love, guy that you're a little bit down on right now, is Josh Freeman. I love Freeman's potential. I know he's had very average games the first 2 weeks. I look for him to open it up this week against Atlanta. I just don't view Atlanta as having a very strong defense. I think Freeman really comes into his own. I'm looking for a 300-yard game from Freeman, and I'm looking for at least a couple touchdowns, maybe 3 touchdowns.
Look, Ryan Fitzpatrick, we spoke about him. Can't say enough about him. You can tell we're real high about him because we're saying he's going to be a stud against
the Patriots.
But their secondary's weak. Ryan Fitzpatrick's a smart guy. He's played them before.
Yep.
He knows how to throw against them. He knows how to get the ball going. He makes smart decisions. He's got, what, 1 interception for the year so far. I mean, and he's averaging 300 yards a game, 3 touchdowns a game. I mean, he's found his new best friend in Scott Chandler. Steven Johnson has proved that he's not no one-year wonder. And David Nelson has emerged, which I knew that was going to happen. So, yeah, Fitzpatrick is going to end up, you'll see his name come up more often in terms of being a fantasy stud this season.
Fitzpatrick has it where it counts, man, right up in the head. He's a very, very smart quarterback, and Chan Gailey's a very creative offensive coordinator. I'm gonna go with actually my last stud for the week. I'm gonna go Cam Newton. I mean, I guess it seems obvious. He's thrown for 420 plus yards week 1, 430 plus week 2. Right now he's playing Jacksonville. This is gonna be Cam's first win. Cam is gonna have another huge game. 400 yards again. I don't know. It's hard to do that 3 in a row for anyone, and he's a rookie. But who the hell would have thought that he would have done it twice in a row? So let's see what happens. He does use his legs a little bit. I look for him to have a few touchdowns this week, 300 plus.
He might even rush for a touchdown.
Exactly. Most importantly for Cam, he's going to get his first W and really come into his own.
Exactly. My last fantasy stud for the week is Maurice Jones-Drew. I know you could probably say, but how is he a stud? He hasn't really put up, like, he's put okay numbers up. He did 15-9 last week, so he's averaging decent amount. But I think this is the week he's going to explode for several reasons. They're playing against Carolina. Horrible rush defense. Gabbert's getting his first start, so you know the offense is going to go through Jones-Drew because he's the only proven thing there right now, and he's going to be the workhorse. And number 3, there's nobody behind him to take away the carries. DJ Kareem, yeah, okay. What did he do first week? 60 yards? Please. That's only because they spelled Jones-Drew in the 4th quarter. Jones-Drew to get 1 carry in the 4th. Jones-Drew's going to have at least 20 points this week. Mark my words.
Couple just quick honorable mention kind of guys. Mark Ingram against Houston should have a pretty decent game.
This is going to be his coming out party.
Daniel Thomas against the Browns. Browns' run D is a little weak, especially if they're running to Jabal Sheard's side. Who
he had his coming out party last week. He's going to continue it, carry the momentum over into this week.
Jabal Sheard's very good.
The last one, I mean,
Chris Johnson. I mean, he's going to have his coming out party against the Broncos. I drew a blank right there. He's going to eat up the Broncos.
He played Baltimore last week, guys.
Don't worry about it.
And week 1, it was a divisional game against Jacksonville, who knows what Chris Johnson's about. And he practiced what, a day or two?
If he doesn't have a good game against the Broncos, start to worry.
Start to seek other options. Maybe try to trade him a little bit, but don't sell too low because he'll eventually come around.
Let's go with some duds.
Let's go with some bombs. A big one. Big one. Cedric Benson. Actually, I was thinking about the next guy on the list, but we'll talk about that in Cedric. Cedric Benson wouldn't be a big dud. The only reason why he's a big dud, A, he's going against a really good San Francisco defense, so a lot of guys wouldn't probably start him anyway. But the thing is he's going to be on your bench for the next 3 weeks if the suspension goes through. It's bull. I know it's bull. I'm against it. I think it's stupid. Guys like Kenny Britt and what's the other guy from Tampa Bay are like killing people and rolling up blunts in car washes. This guy gets attacked at his own home and he's going to get suspended because he defended himself. That's bull. We all know it's bull, whatever. The only problem is if Bernard Scott does emerge during that time. I don't think he's gonna. He hasn't in 2 years, but you never know.
We're not talking the next 3 weeks, though. We're talking now, and Benson's a bad start against the Niners.
Exactly.
A diverse Pittsburgh, and pretty much everybody
on the Colts offense. Guys, it is time to sell. Sell.
Colts.
Sell the Colts. Even Dallas Cook might be the only guy you might want to hold on to.
And Reggie Wayne.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be a bust this week because that Pittsburgh defense, man, and you have no Peyton Manning. Speaking of Peyton Manning, dud of the week, his brother Eli.
Against the Eagle D.
I'm not blaming Eli for his woes. I'm blaming the Giants organization and the fact that he doesn't have a lot of go-to guys around him, and he's got no friends over there. That's the problem. He doesn't have a good rapport with the exception of Nix, but Nix is always banged up here and there. And how many times are you going to throw to the same guy in one game?
I hate the no friends excuse.
It's not an excuse, but you know what it's like if he's got nobody to rely on.
Listen, I feel you.
He struggles because of those reasons.
It sucks. Now, Colt's got friends. Everybody likes Colt. Colt is the man. Eli just always has that face on, and that's kind of just what annoys me about him. I think he's going up against a very good Eagle defense. His weapons are all banged up. His O-line isn't really playing that well. It's just going to be a rough week for Eli. That's pretty much the bottom line.
Brandon Marshall versus the Browns.
And more importantly, against Joe Hayden. Hayden has been locking people down. He started doing it towards the end of last year. He was a Pro Bowl alternate in his rookie year. Hayden's really coming into his own. We're going to be talking about Hayden being a top 3 cornerback within the next couple of years. Hayden is an absolute beast, and he's physical, and he's going to get physical against a very physical Brandon Marshall. I look for Hayden to shut him down this week.
Tony Romo.
Can I say something real quick about Tony Romo? Funny story, true story. After the Jet game, after week 1, ESPN did a segment on SportsCenter about Tony Romo's fourth quarter collapses. That segment had 2 commercial breaks. Just a quick little funny story about Tony Romo.
What does that mean?
That's how many fourth quarter collapses he had. It had 2 commercial breaks.
Listen, I've been saying it for years. And I've been saying it for years. I love how people say, well, Tony Romo was the best quarterback before Vic got there. Tony Romo was the best quarterback in the NFC East. Come on, guys. Really? The guy's never proven anything. Okay, he's got a big arm. Cutler's got a big arm. You don't hear people saying things about that. He cannot prove to win. He can't do the fourth quarter comebacks. He's not good in the clutch. He is a wimp. Even Eli Manning can win in the clutch.
He's 100% right. He's a loser, but he does put up fantasy numbers, and that's what we're concerned with. So whatever. I mean,
fantasy-wise, I would bet him this week just because he's banged. Right. He's played bang up with a bruised lung, and
the whole offense is banged up.
The whole offense.
Wideouts are banged up.
Both their top 2 guys might not play. Felix Jones is only going to play because their top 2 guys might not play.
Exactly.
And he's not going to get a lot of carries.
And the Skins are playing very good.
Our last dud of the week is Schwab.
I've always been a big fan of Schwab. Schwab hasn't really been producing at a high level this year. Last couple seasons, he has been a very good quarterback, a top 10 fantasy quarterback. This week, he's going up against New Orleans. New Orleans' defense has been playing very well. Their pass D is pretty decent. I just kind of look for Schwab to continue to play how he's been playing, which has been very mediocre. He's been getting
very Josh Freeman-like
13 to 17 points. Nah, Freeman's up and coming. Relax.
I've never been a fan of Schwab. He had 1 good year. He's always been injury prone, and the thing is, he's in a high octane offense with a lot of weapons around him. I mean, he should be doing more. He should be getting you a 20 to 25 a week. I mean, people always want to mention him in the same breath with Breeze, Manning, Brady, and those guys. He's not even in Romo's class, as far as I'm concerned.
Nah, Schwab is more of a feast or famine guy. He's going to have you those 12 and 13-point games like he has been this year, but then he's going to get you those 35, 40-point games.
And then this is one of those games where he's going to be a 13, 14-point game.
Exactly.
So I would avoid him at all costs this week. But the other side of the ball, Drew Brees, obviously that's a guy you never bench. And that'll cover it for today.
That's it, man. Peace.
Don't forget to post comments, questions, concerns below. Have a good one.